Hello, welcome to Daily News from Marja'iyat TV. Daily meetings of Grand Shia Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi. The Grand Shia Jurist Ayatollah Sadiq Shirazi hosts a variety of visitors on a daily basis, including scholars, clerics, religious and cultural figures, academics, seminary teachers, and public groups of believers from around the world. It is worth noting that these meetings are held at the Grand Jurist office in Holy Qom in Iran at 11 a.m. every day. PR manager of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi visits military, political, and social figures. Mr. Arif Nasrullah, the PR manager of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Iraq, visited the holy shrines of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, in Samarra and Balad cities to meet with Brigadier Ghalib, the Balad city general, and Haji Abbas al-Baldawi, the deputy manager of Sayyid Muhammad Shrine in northern Iraq. In this meeting, security and economic issues were discussed. Mr. Nasrullah also stated, creating stability and security in this district is a common responsibility of all military personnel and civil service centers, particularly the shrine of Sayyid Muhammad. He then added, I send my thanks to all my brothers who risked their lives for the security of this nation. At the end of this meeting, Mr. al-Baldawi appreciated the works of the PR office of Grand Jurist, such as the formation of the Wila wal Fida community. Young Danish national converts to Islam at Imam Sadiq Center. A young Danish national expelled the 3 testimonies and converted to Shia Islam at Imam Sadiq Cultural Center in Denmark. The new Shia convert had started his studies about Shia Islam for nearly 3 months, and finally he embraced the religion of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. Imam Sadiq Center is dependent to Grand Ayatollah Shirazi. Distribution of meat among people of Basra, Iraq. Sayyid Shuhada Committee, dependent to Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Basra, in cooperation with Subul al-Ma'ruf Foundation and some philanthropists from Oman, distributed meat parcels among needy families, orphans, and the families of Iraqi martyrs. The charity work was a gesture to pray for the health of Imam Mahdi, may God hasten his reappearance, in the provinces of Najaf, Baghdad, Diwaniyah, Samawa, Maysan, and Basra. Director of Annaba Institute meets Iraqi tribal figures. Mr. Ali Talaqani, a journalist and the director of Annaba Institute, dependent to Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Holy Karbala, held meetings with several government officials and tribal figures in this city. In his first meetings, Mr. Talaqani discussed election and biometric identification procedures with Kadem al-Asadi and Hussein Amiri, 2 government officials in Holy Karbala. Furthermore, the director of Annaba Institute, along with Ahmad Juwaid, the head of Adam Center for Human Rights, met with several characters from Bani Asad tribe in Holy Karbala. In these meetings, discussions were focused on cooperative works between Iraqi tribal figures and Annaba Institute. In addition to these meetings, the director of Annaba Institute met with the head of House of Representatives in Holy Karbala. Adam Center condemns Sri Lanka terrorist attacks. Following multiple terrorist attacks in Sri Lanka, Adam Center for Defending Rights and Freedoms released a statement to condemn these attacks. Here comes some parts of this statement. The recent bombings in Sri Lanka were a declaration of war against freedom and religious pluralism. In other words, these acts of terror were aimed at striking a match to the volatile religious standoff in the world, which could be orchestrated by certain organizations and countries in secret. The statement by Adam Center also adds, this center strongly condemns the criminal and brutal acts of terror against places of worship in Sri Lanka, during which tens of innocent people were killed and hundreds of others were wounded. We at Adam Center believe that the terrorist attacks of this kind are meant to ignite a brutal war among different religious communities. The rest of the statement reads, to start a cycle of religious violence is playing with fire, because people will be ready to defend their religious identities and values at all costs. The secret orchestrators of these attacks, who try to manipulate the strong religious feelings of people, have the intention of starting a war against faith and religion in general. After the New Zealand attacks against Muslims were met with international empathy and assistance, more attacks were carried out in Sri Lanka to disrupt the situation and create a cycle of religious violence in the world. Therefore, the international community and human rights organizations must be vigilant not to give any wiggle space to religious violence and terrorism in any forms and in any country. Adam Center further said, some Western policies are also to be blamed for the outbursts of violence against religious and ethnic minorities around the world. We strongly call on the international community to investigate these terrorist attacks and put their perpetrators on trial.